Hey, I'm Kev. Welcome back to MotoGP 19 and a penultimate round of the season as we head into the Shell Malaysia Motorcycle Grand Prix on the Sepang International Circuit. Stone is looking to join Della Porta, Canet, Mazia, Antonelli, Vietti round at the top ahead of Binder, Arbolono, Mino, Tuba and Rodrigo, McPhee, Raul Fernandez, Albarinas and Tatsuki Suzuki and qualifying 2. So here goes Stone in on this little Moto3 bike round this big, massive circuit for 5 possible laps in qualifying 1. So long lap, so he's out early. So a couple other riders are as well. Don't know where the rider in front's going, no. Breaking for the Thailand circuit. We've already been there, mate. Don't have to do that. It's hard to look at the clouds overhead. Very cloudy here. Hope it doesn't mean the monsoon rains are coming for the race. We've got some nice clear conditions for the time being. Around the circuit, which is a bit strange on a motorbike. Like, it was made for F1. Come in Malaysia back in 1999, but it's somehow become a fixture on the MotoGP, the Grand Prix motorcycle racing calendar, for almost 20 years as well now. To be honest, I can't actually imagine motorcycles not racing round here, strangely. Even though, look at this track on these Moto3 bikes. They're just little dots. These are made for almost 2 meter wide cars, not very thin bikes, but so it doesn't quite work for me. Especially with the Moto3, like the lower classes around it, but as I said, I can't imagine MotoGP not being around here. And it's had its moments, Malaysia, no doubt. Particularly if you're a Rossi fan as well. Of course, the infamous one. With Marcus round here. Well, he tried to score a goal, but in fact scored a penalty, so got a penalty. Now gifted Lorenzo the title as well, if I remember that season. And that's Lorenzo's last title as well before he started his odyssey of trying to win on every bike available in the grid. Not going as well on the Honda for him, but this could be under 220, that'd be okay. 220.4. Not sure that's a good marker, Stone. Imagine low 219 would be good. So here goes Stone, and he's in last. 1.5 seconds behind Ramirez is 218. He's dusted himself off. Got 3 laps to do this. Managed to get the bike in nicely into that first corner. Such a heavy braking, so it's so difficult to do that. And hard on the power out the left. Just flat out through the right. Can be very tricky in the wet as he's half a second down. That is poor, very poor. Because there's just one chicane in a straight. Stone's got at least 1.2, I think, to find to get into the top 4. So he's got to be in the... I was about to say he's got to be in the 18s, but now it's the 17s. Look at everyone. 217.7 from Ramirez. Seriously, well, they finding this time. Stone a bit wide. And Onshu as well, right up there once again. Turkish rider on his KTM. He's loving that thing now. It's hard on the power, bit of a wheelie. Yeah, these things do that. Occasionally. Once again, lots of rear brake being used. It's going to be a tough race. That's slightly off track. I don't think this would have been a good lap time anyway. Probably a 2:19. It's got 2 laps to go. And the thing about this track, yeah, I might not be the biggest fan of it with motorbikes, but for F1, it was quite liked it. And I wasn't the saddest to see it go. Like, I had a good run of 20 years. I was a 2:18.6, that's in the second back. Now let's find that second stone. And especially when it first came around back in '99, it was something we had not seen before. Really. It was one of the first of Bernie's pet projects with Tilke. Expanding F1 to new horizons to really make it a truly global sport. The likes of Malaysia, Bahrain, China, Turkey. Lots of countries coming onto the calendar in the next decade. A couple of decades. We had in India, China. Not India, we already had in China. India, Korea, Abu Dhabi. Even America back with one of these circuits too. So the Americas, which is good for bikes as well. It's 2:17.4. This is not the lap stone. As on she goes to the top. And he's only got time for one more lap. I have no idea where he's going to find a second though. Because once again, we just cannot use the brakes to the maximum capacity now. Like, it's much easier. Like, you just don't feel... It's a bit like when it first came out, shall we say. That braking feel's just not there again. And once again, everything's just sped up, it feels like. So what we've been improving on and learning for the previous match is out the window. I'm just back to struggling. Like, really struggling. Just now that the setup's probably, I don't know, probably too stiff on the front, from what I can tell. My limited experience of setup knowledge. There you go, Stone. 1 lap to not qualify last. Didn't think I'd be saying those words again after the beginning of the season. Somehow that's a personal best. I don't know how. I don't know why someone's coming out the pit lane. Bit late to the party, mate. Still got a good acceleration. You've got 2 riders riding together in front as well. Someone's getting some nice slipstreamers. There you go, right on it. First sector. Just need 3 more of those. Too slow, way too slow. Lost a couple of tenths there. Just wait for the bike in the middle of that corner. Got an accelerator hard. Still just half a second back. It's not too bad, Stone. He is still set for a 2:17. But there's no doubt he will need. Put a bit wide into the hairpin. Back in wanting the dance again. Don't think he made it through. As if he just kept going, he might have actually made it through. Fenati as he joins Lopez, Ramirez and Onshu. Of course, he's grinning now. As Foggy just missed out. Edicor on third and Agura on the 7th row. Then Garcia and Booth Amos, the old buddies, alongside Sasaki in the 8th. Then Masaki, Yurchenko and Perez, not in the back row. As Salak, Rossi and Stone are there. Stone still not that far off a couple of riders, despite not even having one clean lap. So yeah, looking through the heat haze at the grid as look at all the hard tyres there. At the front, look at Fee on the third row, hard, along with 2 burning. We've got Arbolona as well, hards on the front, quite a lot of them. Suzuki, Onshu, the medium hards though. And hard for Kornfeld, Bufemo, Sasaki, hard mediums for Masaki, Yachenko and Garcia. On the back row, medium hard for Stone, hard for Salak and Rossi. As where are you going, Stone? So here's Stone at the back then, doing the first challenge over 9 laps here in Malaysia as he gets a cracking start ahead of his teammate Sasaki, heading and roaring into the top 20. Let's go towards the first corner, could even be in the points. As you get the brakes on. As he braking very early, just being cautious, trying to make it through. So there's a gap there. There was grass there as well. He's got his teammate in front. Get out of the way! What are you doing, Sasaki? Oh, that's a lot of curbing. There's one clipping the back of, is that Garcia? No, it's Alonso Lopez. There's one, what is that in front? Don't have to do a lot of void on this open up. He is into the top 20 now. That's on the power, just holding off his teammate to be in this top 20 though. He was all over Kornfeld. He's had a very poor exit. Look at that down the inside. Is that Fernandez? Running wild. This time gets past Arenas, so it must be Fernandez. You can see Onshi just on the threshold of the points. And so is Stone now. Roaring onto the back of the KTM, up into 17th as Anthony leads at the Della Porta, Nino, Mazia Connect, McPhee in 6th ahead of Vietti and Ramirez. That's all a bit of a hit behind. Stone holds on to 18th on this second lap of 9. Instead, the weather conditions actually haven't changed a lot. That's Fernandez in front, Kornfeld behind. There's Onshu down the inside of Fernandez. You can see that in front for the final point. As he saw that coming a mile back, Kornfeld. We've got a nice acceleration of Salakeda Rossi for 24th. Garcia and Bufemos battling. This time over 26th. It's been ahead of Arbolona into 12th. Trying to power out the corner, Bin and Arbolona really going at it. Now we've got the Japanese stars going at it over 23rd as well. So I'm trying to find a rhythm around this track. Kind of getting it as Mazia down. The number 5 down from that lead group. Stone up to 17th. As Vietti up into 7th. Mazia all the way down to 26th? No, 25th. Battle with Booth Amos. What a shot to another championship contender having a shocker. Or should we say former championship contender? One of the front runners at least is there. Porter ahead of Antonio Canet with the fastest at 17.2. 19.4 so he's a couple of things off the pace. Might as well be in a shopping cart with how quick he is. Pretty embarrassing for someone who's won races this season. Need to be on the charge towards the top 5. And now he's battling a hold of Kornfeld for 17th. Come on, Jakob, we're meant to be fighting for points, not each other. Sure you realise that's the end goal. Maybe not, because he got a bit close there from the sounds of things. Stone getting into a rhythm. Just over a second back of Fernandez, but it sounds like he's got the measure on Kornfeld at least. Riding nice and smooth at the moment. There's getting so much rear brake being used. It is ridiculous. Let's go see up the 26th head of Booth Amos. Or not. God, I think we're just matching pace-wise, unfortunately. Riders in front. It's Masaki ahead of Perez. As that time-wise. Into the 18s, 18.7. Just a second off the base. Second and a half. It's all Fernandez. No! Fernandez dropping back, and so is Stone once a fucking again. Just as he got into a rhythm. Let's see what you can do from last then. Once again, I've spent hours trying to just record this bloody race. And once again, this is just the best I can do. They have, for me, they have ruined the handling. With the patches that we give them out, like. So it's going to be lowered again. Obviously, no doubt, for Valencia, because that's not the biggest part, though. Like the difficulty, it is just the physics. Like, I don't know why they've ruined them. They were so good off those early patches. It was actually fun. No, it's not. Or maybe it is for Stone as she tries to find a way by Masaki. Past the poor Japanese rider. He's not going to be scoring a point in this season, is he? Down to last. Let's see if Stone can have a bit of a jolly like he did in Fair Biden for a bit, as McPhee up to 6th. Hello, Suzuki. There's 2:17 flat now. Absolutely ridiculous pace from the front 5.
He's got Tuber rounding out the top 10. And beautiful slipstream for Stone. Round he's got the straight line speed. Gonna make the pass on Yurchenko, is he? Not so much about that, it's just the braking he's struggling with. And his bike stopped. He runs into the back of the Kazakhstan rider, the demonstrator, who then decides to do some mowing for whatever reason for the right hander. And smells out the 21st ahead of Arenas. Just a few seconds up the road. Yeah, I thought they were going like 3 wide there. Getting into the outside. Made at the inside of Yurchenko's. Mazia really is battling with his fellow countryman. Stone holding it round the outside of Yurchenko. So exactly halfway through the race. Bit of sliding going on into the corner on the brakes. Actually works really nice. He needs to try and do that more often. Stone gets on the power hard. Oh my god, where are you going? Deserve those 2 tenths. Probably should be more for how horrendous that line was. Just give him 2 seconds. All that matters. He got the power nice and hard for this back straight, but look how far behind he is. I don't think 219s will cut it, or even 218s. He needs to be doing 216s or something to catch up to the riders in front. There's Nick at Mino. I'm just thinking of Antonelli. He's fancying a taste of victory champagne as their Portia still leads an all-Italian podium at the moment. 219.3, that's not going to cut it, Stone. They've got 4 laps to go. That's Nolan and the powers. Mazia finally returns to the top 20. Saki in 23rd, Eda Rossi. Yeah, Portier leading Armenia, but he's putting the pressure on his fellow countryman. It's the guy who battled this man for 5th for a bit. That's Venati ahead of Foggia. So riding it in deep there, is he? Old Stone. He's in every inch of the track. And grass. He's 1.9 back. He's closed half a second this lap. He's up to 19 area of Salak now. Stop. I'll say, it's still occasionally the bike just wants to go on. We just braked a bit late on that corner. Slightly tricky corner. You got this with a couple of corners around there where the braking just doesn't line up with how you go into the corner. Of course, this is the perfect example of it. Turn 14. Where you're just clipping at apex. As he enters the final third of another disappointing race. Team probably wondering, why did they make Stone a team leader? He's been horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. In the final 4 races of this season. Ever since Mazzano, final third of the season. 219.2, come on. As Canet into 4th, Rodrigo into 9th. That's just matching the riders in front. You can't even get into the 18s at the moment. That's how tough a time Stone is having it. As That's up to 17th ahead of Fernandez. Sark up to 19th, battling his fellow countryman Cornfield. The veteran against the rookie. Antonelli down to 4th. Stone can't even be bothered to keep the bike on the track now. Slightly outbraked himself there. Buffet was battling with Garcia. Mazia wants a point. All his troubles from this race, probably the least they could do, he's probably thinking. Let's look at that line of bikes in front. Very tasty if you can catch up to that Stone. But he's not doing that in a month of Sundays with riding like that. Kind of giving up, it feels like. That's better. Actually hitting apex and accelerated properly. Bit of a miracle on the second half of this race. But we've still got one race to go this season. Got Valencia. Rumamel, of course, churning. Will Stone step up immediately to Moto2, or will he stick in Moto3, go for the title as originally planned? But you get the offers for Moto2, that's the big quiz question of all. Because after this, after Massano, maybe, you could see NTS taking the punt. You could see KTM with Tech 3. Or with one of their satellite bikes taking the punt as Mino takes the lead at the airport on the penultimate lap. 220. Get back to Rookie's Cup, Stone. That is where that pace belongs. As McPhee ahead of Vietti. It's Cornfield in the top 20 here. We'll go up. Come on, 218. That's all I'm asking. So where's he going for next season? Would have been a good bit to maybe step up to Moto2 after Massano, but now might be just as lucky to stick with Petronas Spirita. McPhee has been performing much better. Saki has been qualified much better at least. Been more than a match pace rise. And other teams be looking at Stone being going, is that because he became a team leader he's struggling, or because Milestone just running the game with a patch? Like, who knows? Like, not the game, but the handling. They've definitely ruined. And saying that, it was fun on a Moto e-bike. I just can't get my head around why it's not working on a Moto3 bike. Maybe you got to adjust things to that wise. As I said, maybe make it a bit softer, especially on the front, where, especially under braking, it is just horrendous, this thing. And so we have to use so much rear brake. But there was that period in the middle part of the season where you could use lots of rear brake and qualifying, but could back it off in the race. Now it's rear brake city. It is the biggest thing. Make a bike quick, it feels like. As they're ported, Mino battling on the final lap. With the toast of the town here in Sepang, has been going to the top 10 or 2, but another 220. Really does want to sink all the way to the bottom, doesn't he? It's McPhee ahead of Suzuki. Just can't get the braking done. And I said the feeling's just like it was when the game came out. I don't understand what they've done to, why they've dialed it back. As Oncho up the trail ahead of Arbolino. He's scoring some more solid points, the Turkish rider. The Stone's battling with Perez. This is how bad his race has gone. Is Oncho up to them? It'd have been. What is Oncho on now? I think I didn't realise the race has broken out. Like, yeah, we're on the last lap. I was meant to be doing all these passes. Finally doing it. As Perez, Masaki and Yurchenko are right behind Stone. With half a lap to go. Got some battling over the wooden spoon. Just what you all came here to do. A 6 second smack with the riders in front. My God. Can't even keep up with the midfielders now. Tail ender. Kev Stone. I mean, he started off his career as a tail ender. In the Rookies Cup in Jerez, so gone back to old times maybe. Because even in the early part of the season when this bike was a bit underdeveloped at Qatar and even Argentina and got a bit tough, bike was much better to ride. That was not run the fight fun to ride at all. Hence maybe you sniffing around Moto2 paddock, Stone. We'll ride for free. As Porter wins the battle of the Italians. Stone wins the battles of the last place. Once again, massive wheelie of attraction. So there's Antonelli in fourth. Why is he cheering the git? As Porter wins ahead of Mina by just a tenth. Just 3 tenths of Canet, just 6 tenths ahead of Ramirez, just 7 tenths ahead of Antonelli. What a close top 5 as Suzuki lead in the second pack ahead of McPhee, Vietti, Rodrigo, Tuba, Binder, Onshu down the 12th in the end. South African wins that battle. Then Arbolino, Fenati, Foggia grabs the final point as Mazia's comeback ends fruitless. Head of Lopez, Salak, Gura. Fernandez rounds out the top 20 in Kornfeld, Rossi, Suzuki, Arenas, Bufamos, Garcia. Stone in the last group. I like how this race just broken up into 4 packs. The quick, big point scorers, the midfielders, the back markers. Stone wins the battle of the back markers instead of the KTMs of Masaki, Yurchenko and Perez. So in the championship then, Della Porte is confirmed as your champion ahead of Canet with Antonelli down to third. Then Mazia, Mino, Suzuki, Ramirez up to 7th ahead of Stone. At least he can't fall any further, I guess. Then we've got Rodrigo, Tuba around at the top 10. As Fenati up to 19th ahead of Garcia. As in the team championship, they're par 22 points ahead of Sync 58 and Capital Dubai 24 points back. In that site, they've got one hand on the title. No wonder they're both grinning. Then Max Racing in 4th ahead of Petronas Spiritus. They both cemented their positions, but not for Green Power. Just 4 points ahead of the other They're just 4 points ahead of Team Asia. Just 5 points ahead of Gracino. Just 7 points ahead of Snipers. That battle for 6th is still fierce. Heading to Valencia. And then we've got KTM in 11th. Stray Glitzer in 13th, and Gonetto 14th. Avintia and Skull Riders yet to score. As another tale of disappointment, as Rossi takes the MotoGP title. Marquez and Dover flying by 24 and 26 points. They do know how to do maths right. 25 for win. I'm not sure. As Moto3 Championship is over, Della Porte wins with place of honour for Canet and Anthony behind him. Nothing about Moto2. No one won in Moto2. It was a dead heat between all the riders. As Della Porte says, a good rider, but at times he drops his pace like he did today. He needs to find more consistency. You shut up, alright? He's dealing with some things. Okay. Let's look at these championships then. So, we know what happened in Moto3. What happened in the Red Bull Rookies Cup then? So, the Japanese rider won by 3 points. And the Tatai and the Swiss rider. What a championship. With Salvador in 4th, Cooney in 5th, Acosta. You got Urati, is that how you say it? Rogue, Fellon, Bautis in 10th. G, Max Kirk, Hernandez. Just 15 riders score points out of 25. What a crazy championship. Has let's score across the Moto2 then. It's definitely tied at the bottom. 17 riders score points. Socatelli. You got Martin ahead and Nakashima down in 15th. Di Giannantonio, Verge. And the Stroglitz for Sam Lowe's in 12th. Binder in 11th on the KTM behind Ika. As you got Navarro, Marini, Basciani, Remy Gardner. Decent season in 6th behind Augusto Fernandez for just 5 points. But look at the top. Luti down to 4th. But just 8 points back, tied with Alex Marquez. Shawata 6 points back over Lorenzo Baldassarre. He's winning. Who wrote this script? Dynavolt won by a country mile in the team's championship. Nuti's ecstatic at that. It's Pons in 2nd. Mark VDS, speed up. Sag team. BR46 in 7th. Ahead of American Racing KTM, Mingning KTM IO. Grassini in 10th. Has Honda Team Major NTS. Tech 3 KTM. MV Augusta on their return to Grand Prix motorcycle racing. Kiefer, Petrina Spirita. And Gael, no point scorers there. Let's scroll back then to the MotoGP Championship. Rossi's 24 points ahead. He's not won the championship yet. He could still fall. Marco could still win and clinch the title with Dovi in 3rd. Rins, Mida, Vinales, Petrucci, Crutcho, Morbidelli, and Espargaro at the top 10 of Nakagami Mir. Magnaya, Quartararo, Oliveira, Zarco ahead of Paul Espargaro. What the hell? Olga Lorenzo in 18th. As for Batsarin, Inoni and Abraham have not scored points. You never guess the Italian developers behind this with Rossi winning the championship, even though he hasn't. I'm sure Yamaha have won the championship as well then. Just 24 points ahead of Honda, who've come 2 places ahead of Suzuki and Ducati, but look how close it is for 2nd. For Aprilia and KTM in comfortable 5th and 6th, well away from each other. They don't want anything in this title battling business. Not Lorenzo. He's in 4th though. He's probably contributed to Honda being down in 4th behind Suzuki and Ducati, who are 28 points behind Yamaha, who have surely won that title, or officially have, apparently. You don't need to be 43 points ahead, just 28. And then we've got, not 43, it's 45, isn't it? They've got Premack in 5th, top independent ahead of LCR and Petronas Yamaha, or the Petronas Spirito, I guess. Then you've got Grassini, Aprilia, LCR, Honda Japan, KTM Tech 3, and Avintia, the only team not to score. What a terrible season for Avintia. As next time then, there's just one race to go. Can Kev Stone end the drought? As once again, look at that consistency. How are Moto2 teams not impressed by that? He knows how to get 27th place finishes. More than anything else this season, looking at all the other results. But next time, you're heading to Valencia. Can he end on a high somehow? Sound watching, we'll find out next time.